When a billionaire whispers a truth at sunrise that can flip a man's entire world upside down, you listen. And if that man is a single dad who risked everything to pull her out of the fire, then the truth she finally speaks is the kind that forces both of them to confront what they've been running from: fear, loss, and fate. This isn't a love story that began with roses or promises. It began with metal tearing through the sky, a father protecting strangers with nothing but his bare hands, and a woman who had everything except someone who truly saw her. And by the time you reach the end, one question will haunt you: was their crash really an accident, or destiny forcing two broken lives to collide? The rain had started early that morning when Adam placed his daughter's tiny backpack on her shoulders, kissed her forehead, and promised he'd be back after his flight. "Be brave, baby," he whispered. Lily nodded. She was always so strong for a 6-year-old. Maybe because she'd already lost so much. Adam didn't know that this day, of all days, would test every part of him. 30 minutes later he was seated on the plane, exhausted but hopeful. He had taken the trip to attend a job interview, one that could finally give his daughter a stable life again. But fate had prepared something entirely different for him. Across the aisle sat a woman hidden behind sunglasses worth more than his monthly rent. Her posture screamed confidence, but her fingers trembled around her coffee cup. He didn't pay attention to her until the turbulence hit began with a jolt. A sound like the sky ripping open. People screamed. Oxygen masks fell. The plane dipped so sharply that Adam felt his soul leave his body. But instincts buried deep inside him, military instincts, kicked in like a switch. He unbuckled, grabbed the trembling woman next to him, and pressed her head down. "Stay with me," he yelled over the chaos. The engines roared like monsters fighting for air. The woman's sunglasses fell off, revealing eyes full of terror and unshed tears. She wasn't the cold billionaire the world saw. She was just a frightened human being about to fall from the sky. "What's your name?" he shouted. "Elena," she cried back. "I don't want to die." "You won't," he promised. "Not today." The impact came like the world ending, metal twisting, flames bursting, bodies thrown. When Adam woke, blood was running down his forehead and smoke blurred his vision. The smell of fire and fuel burned his throat. Screams echoed from different directions. And then he saw her, Elena, trapped beneath part of the cabin wall, coughing, bleeding, losing consciousness. Without thinking, he crawled over debris, ignoring the pain ripping through his leg. "Adam," she whispered hoarsely, recognizing the man who had held her seconds before everything went black. "Don't close your eyes," he told her as he lifted the beam with every ounce of strength he had left. "I'm not losing you." She clung to him with a desperation she had never allowed herself to feel. And for a moment, the world narrowed to just their breaths, shaky, terrified, alive. Hours felt like days as he fought to pull survivors out, to shield Elena from collapsing metal, to keep her awake when her breaths turned shallow. When rescue teams finally arrived and dragged them into daylight, she never let go of his hand. Not until the stretcher separated them. And even then, her eyes searched for him, the stranger who saved her twice that day. Later, as they lay in separate hospital rooms, Adam's only thought was of calling Lily. "Daddy's okay," he told her softly when she sniffled on the phone. "I'm coming home soon, I promise." What he didn't know was that Elena Hartley, billionaire, heiress, and the woman whose face filled magazines, was demanding to see him the moment she woke up. When they reunited that night, her voice was hoarse, her eyes red from crying. "You saved me," she whispered. "You saved all of us." "Anyone would have done it," he said. "No," she replied, shaking her head. "Not anyone." She looked at him as if seeing something she had never seen before: safety, maybe, or truth. But what neither of them expected was the confession she would make less than 12 hours later, at sunrise, when the world was quiet and their souls were too tired to hide. The morning light crept across her hospital room when Elena woke to find Adam sitting quietly near her bed, his injured leg elevated, his face still bruised. He hadn't meant to fall asleep there, but she smiled at the sight of him, this man who risked everything without asking for anything in return. "Adam," she said softly. He jerked awake, embarrassed. "Sorry, I must have." "No," she cut in gently. "I'm glad you stayed." For a moment, neither spoke. The world felt fragile, like something new was trying to grow between them. Then she inhaled shakily, as though preparing to tear open a truth she'd hidden from the world. "There's something you deserve to know," she said. "Something I've never told anyone." Adam frowned, confused. Elena looked outside at the rising sun, tears suddenly filling her eyes. "The crash wasn't the first time my life was in danger this month," she whispered. "Someone has been trying to kill me, Adam. And yesterday, they succeeded. The plane was sabotaged." The words hit him like cold lightning. "What?" "I didn't know who to trust," she continued. "I didn't trust anyone. Not even my own security. But you, a stranger, you protected me without hesitation." He stared at her, breath trapped in his chest. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because," she said, voice breaking, "I need your help." And because, she paused as a tear rolled down her cheek. "Because when that plane was falling, I wasn't afraid of losing my money, or my company, or my name. I was afraid of dying without ever knowing someone who cared about me, not what I owned." Adam's heart clenched. He had spent years believing his world was too small, too heavy, too broken. She had lived in a world too big, too empty, too fake. Two worlds that should never have touched, colliding in the sky. "I don't know what fate is," she whispered, "but I know I survived because of you. And I don't want this connection to end when we walk out of this hospital." He swallowed hard, torn between fear and hope. "Elena, I have a daughter. My life isn't simple." She smiled through her tears. "Neither is mine. But maybe, just maybe, two broken lives can protect each other." And with the sun rising over both of them, warmth spreading through the room, Adam realized something he didn't expect. He wasn't afraid anymore. Not of danger. Not of pain. Not of falling for someone who had every reason to walk away. The crash had brought them together. But her confession, that changed everything. If you want, I can continue this story with